Good morning students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. In our last lecture we have seen it about the chemical reactions. Before going it for the chemical reactions, I told you that we will be going through some basic definitions or the concepts. What are chiral carbons, what are achiral carbons, what are enantiomers, diastereoisomers or inversions or racematizations, or we will be coming all those words now particularly in the today's lecture, right? So the concepts of them or the meaning, what does they indicates, it's clear to everyone. Now let's go it for nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now when we are talking about nucleophilic substitution reaction, what does it indicates? When you are having it as in two atoms bonded with one another, right, you will be having it as in with a more electronegativity difference. One will become with a partially negative and one with a partially positive. On ionization, it gets plus and minus. This is known as nucleophile. This one with a more electrons, additional electrons, or one which is having a more electronegative character, it's considered to be as a nucleophile. Electron is more shifted towards it. When in the reaction, suppose particularly when we are having it as an halides, we know it that they are becoming negative and these are becoming positively charged because the carbon is less electronegative than halogen. When this compound is replaced by nucleophile, that means this one will enter and this one will exit. You will get it as Rb and X minus. So this one is known as substitution. One is entering, another one is removing, but the entry is of nucleophile, exit is of nucleophile. So it is considered to be as a nucleophilic substitution reaction, right? Particularly in our textbook, the reaction is given to us Rx plus Nu. Nu means nucleophile. It gets converted into Rnu plus X. Halogen is removed. So this is substitution reaction. But at the same time, which are the possible components which are there as a nucleophile? How many are there? So for that, it's given to me in my textbook. Particularly a table is given to us in which it is indicated that you can have it as an NOH. From the NOH, OH minus is a nucleophile. Nu, you are going to get it as a nucleophile. That means if I am having it as an Rx, it will change to ROH. X will be removed, OH will enter. If I am using NOH, if I am using KOH, then also I am getting it OH. If I am using it H2O, still I am getting it as an OH. So to replace X by OH, I can have it as an NaOH, KOH or H2O, right? Similarly, if I want it, suppose Cn, I can have it as an KCN. It will produce Cn. That means the reaction will become as Rx changes to RCN. In place of that, if I am using it as an AgCN, then in place of Cn, I am getting it as an NC. Rx changes to NC. Right? See, the whole table is given in your textbook. If I am using it as an NH3, I am getting it as an NH2 minus. That means Rx changes to RNH2. If I am using it as an, suppose KNO2, I am getting it as an ONO. Rx will change to RONO. In place of that, again I am using AgNO2. This time I am getting it as an NO2. Right? So like that, a complete table in your textbook, it is given to you on the page number 292. You will find out that is completely, the table is given to you, which are the components from, these are the reagents from where I am going to get nucleophile, and that nucleophile is going it for the reaction to replace the halogen. So it is considered as an nucleophilic substitution reaction. Right? Now the question arises, well, this is clear to me that what is nucleophilic substitution, but the question arises that, sir, during these two components, why did the products are changing? Though I am using KCN, AgCN, why the product has changed as an KCN produced CN, AgCN produced NC. This is cyanide, this is isocyanide. Then, particularly for that, we will understand it, that these nucleophiles, they are known as ambidentate nucleophiles. CN, NC, it's a ambidentate nucleophiles, or you can get it as an NO2, ONO. They are ambidentate nucleophiles. What is the meaning of ambidentate nucleophiles? Are nucleophiles which are having more than one atom which can get bonded or substitute the halogen atoms. It can replace by nitrogen, it can replace by carbon, it can replace by oxygen, or it can be replaced by nitrogen. They can be get bonded with the hydrocarbon. Then such compounds are considered to be as a ambidentate nucleophiles. More than one coordinate site or more than one atom which can attack onto the electrophile to substitute the nucleophile attached to it. Then such compounds are known as ambidentate nucleophiles. But now the case, these are the ambidentate nucleophiles. But when I am using KCN, why CN and why AgCN, it gets NC. Why it show? Why this reaction takes place in that format? So for that case, you can say that when you are using the KCN, answer for it, Rx on reaction with KCN produces cyanide, while AgCN produces isocyanide. Why? A give reason can be there. Or in place of Rx reacting with KCN, AgCN, you can get it as an KNO2O and AgNO2. Why they changes? So for that case, the reason is KCN plus water, it goes for K plus Cn minus, that is ionization of KCN takes place easily. That means it produces Cn minus, right? As a result, you get it as an carbon getting bonded to it. But when I am taking it as an AgCN with water, it's a covalently bonded. Hence, AgCN does not ionize. Therefore, N goes for thus we get NC as a substitution, right? One is ionizable, KCN, it's an ionizable, so we get it as Cn, and AgCN is non-ionizable, so we get it as NC. Similarly, when you are having it as an KNO2, it ionizes to K plus NO2 minus, and oxygen goes for the reaction, so it produces ONO. While AgNO2, it does not ionizes, so nitrogen goes for bonding, producing NO2. That's the difference. That is why these reactions are having it as the factor to produce ambidentate ligands with different products. Right? Now this was one reason, one factor that we studied it for the nucleophilic. Second, depending upon the R group. Now this one we saw it as which is the reagent that is changing the product. But how this R group, the R group that is present in the compound, how does it changes the nucleophilic substitution reaction? That also we will have to study. And that R group, depending upon the nature, whether it's a primary, secondary or tertiary, it changes the reaction mechanism. So R, that is alkyl group, changes reaction mechanism, and therefore we are getting it as two type of reaction mechanism, SN2 and SN1. Now what are the factors? Before understanding what is SN2 and what is SN1 reaction mechanism, what type of an effect is made by R group? So in that case, if R group, that is alkyl group, is primary, it gives SN2. If it is secondary or tertiary, it goes for SN1. That is, it depends upon the stability of the carbocation. We know it that stability of carbocation is tertiary is more stable than secondary, is more stable than primary, is more stable than. That means this 2 goes for SN1, this 2 goes for SN2. Or if I want to write it, reactivity order for SN1, we get it as tertiary halide, secondary, primary, methyl. But for SN2, we get it as CH3 greater than primary, greater than secondary, greater than tertiary. That means these are generally showing us SN2 reaction mechanism, right? Because their carbocation formation stability is very, very less. Whereas secondary, tertiary being in more carbocation stable, they go it for SN1 reaction mechanism. But what is there in this reaction mechanism? So let us first of all understand what is SN2, what is SN1. Let us write down the difference between these two so that it becomes very easily understandable for us to write it as a mechanism. So that is also one of the question that we are having it. Write a difference between SN1 and SN2. We can have it as a question, SN1, SN2. Now say this 2 or 1, what does they indicate? It is a second order reaction. Already we studied it in our chemical kinetics. It depends upon the two reacting spaces. It depends on both reactant and reagent. It depends on both of them, right? So first order, second order, first, both of them together, it's a second order, right? This reaction gives us inversion. The product obtained is invert, right? We know it that we studied inversion, opposite direction. The reason is it is carried out in single step. No intermediates are there for it. Completely vice versa for it. It's a first order, depends only on reactant. It gives racemic mixture. It does not give us as an invert product. It gives us racemic mixture, 50% extra, 50% Leo combined together. though I have started with a dextro or though I have started with Leo, maybe any of it. I will get it over there, racemic mixture. Here I will get it as inversion. Here it's carried out in 2 steps. It's carried out in 2 steps, right? So that is the reason why we get it as in 2 different reactions. Here the order, you can write it as a difference. Order, it's a CS3 plus primary, secondary, tertiary. For this you can write it as an order 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree, CH3. Now, other than that, the alkyl group SN1, SN2 are also affected by the size of the halogens. They are affected by the size. If size of halogen is bigger, then it goes for SN2. That means I, Br, Cl, F. This goes for much faster as an SN2. All of them will give me SN2, right? It's not like carbocations that one goes for SN1 and one goes for SN2. They are not like that. All of them are going it. But in compared to this two, if I compare it as an iodine and bromine, which one will go for SN2 faster? Iodine will go for faster, right? Which one will go for SN1 faster? Bromine will go for SN1 faster. So all of them are going it for the reaction. But here you will get it as FCl, Br, I. Now what is it? Electronegativity is more. So carbon cation formation will be very easily formed. So this gives reaction much faster for SN1. This gives slower because it's a less electronegative. Probability of forming an carbon cation is less. So the order also depends upon the size also. Bigger the size of the halogen goes for SN2. Smaller the size of halogen goes for SN1, right? So these are the differences for SN2, SN1 that we are having it. Now let us understand one by one both of these mechanism, what is SN1 and what is SN2. First of all, we'll go it for SN2, right? It's carried out in single step. Now when we are going it for the SN2, this my R group, R can be CS3 plus or primary halide. It can be either CS3 plus or it can be primary halide, right? It's reacted with Nu, nucleophile. At that time what will happen? The carbon which is present over there, it's having it as an only, I have taken it as an CS3 plus, right? It's a primary condition. So at that time what will happen? This halogen is not easily removed straight away. What will go for? Nucleophile will try to attack this carbon from the back side, so that the halogen has to be removed from the front side, right? As a result, what will happen? The product I will be getting it will have a nucleophile on the opposite direction. Halogen was on the one direction, nucleophile was on the other direction, right? Let's take it as an example. CS3, CH2, Cl. So what does it shows? Carbon is there, tetrahedrally bonded, halogen is written over here. I'm having it as an 2 hydrogen and CH3 group, right? Now carbon is on the front direction that I have shown it, towards us. Now in it, if I am adding it as an OH minus N, either by NaOH or KOH, in an aqueous condition, that is must, remember it should be an aqueous condition. OH minus comes. So at that time what will happen? An intermediate of it, OH minus enters At the same time, Cl is been removed and 2 hydrogen. It's an unstable. So I can't say that it's a separate product, I'm getting it. This is reaction continued. So in that case, on and continuation, we get it as product. The OH group came on the opposite direction, right? And that's the reason why it is considered as an inversion. The product has got as an invert product, right? Okay, now this was for the SN2. What is there for the SN1? For SN1 reaction mechanism, what we are going to get it for the SN1? Either RX, R will be secondary or tertiary halide. So let's take it as an example that we are having it as a tertiary halide. We don't know what is that compound, but carbon is bonded with 3 other carbons. So it's a tertiary halide, right? This time it does not depends upon the nucleophile that is going to come. It's going it first of all as an step 1. It will be a slow step which will convert itself into carbocation. It's not depending on which nucleophile is going to attack on it. No effect of the nucleophile. Once it gets converted into carbocation, now the nucleophile, that is step 2, which is first step. It's not a rate determining step. We have studied in the chemical kinetics. Slow steps are rate determining step. So here this is not going to affect it. It's not rate determining step. We will get it as the product. Now this time OH has both the sides open. It can go from front, it can go from back. It can come over here. You can have it as an OH over here also. So we get it as a mixture of both the products, maybe a dextro and Leo in equal proportion. So we get it as racemic mixture. So for SN1 reaction, we will be having it as an racemic mixture formation. For SN2, we will be having it as an inversion product, right? Particularly based on this, the questions you have been asked, as already I told you, one give reason for the nucleophilic, that KCN, AgCN or KNO2, AgNO2, that is the one reason. Explain what is nucleophilic substitution reaction, difference between SN1 and SN2, explain mechanism of SN1 or mechanism of SN2, or specifically a very objective questions, right? These were all the long answers that are possible, theoretical answer. I want it for multiple choice. So for that case, what type of the things that can be asked? Now this is the two compounds that is given to me. Which one goes for SN1 reaction faster? Which shows SN1 reaction faster? Right? So what the thing I will have to find out? This compound, it's a CH3, CH2, CHCl, CH3. And this compound is CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. Right? Okay. Now, what does it shows? Number of carbons? I'm not bothered for the number of carbons. It's a secondary carbon. It's a primary carbon. This one is secondary. This one is primary. Right? So what does it happens? This one goes for SN1 faster. It goes for SN1 faster. I'm not bothered about the number of carbons. Right? Okay. Now in place of that, I'm having it as a compound CH3CH2I, CH3CH2Cl. Which one goes for SN1 faster? Again, the same one. Then what does it shows? The size is bigger. Therefore, this one goes for SN1 faster. This one will go for SN2 faster. Right? So like that, our questions can be there. Which compound will go for SN1, which one will go for SN2, or arrange the compound on the ascending and descending order of their reactivity for the SN1, SN2. Like that, the questions can be there. Okay, so we did it only one today, the chemical reaction, that is nucleophilic substitution, right? In our next lecture, we will come across another chemical reactions. Okay, till then, thank you.